All right, so the first thing you have to do for a good chicken parmesan is clean up the chicken cutlets and fillet them and tenderize them. So sometimes when I go to the meat market and they offer to fillet them for me, it never comes out exactly how I want. It's either too thin or too thick, so I like to do it myself. Now these I bought clean, so they cut most of the fat off, but I'm gonna fillet them myself. So I'm just gonna move these out of the way. And so what you do is you work, turn this away, make a nice slice right toward the middle there, and start to cut to one side and peel the chicken cutlet back. And then you do the same thing on the other side. Because when you go to a restaurant and they charge you $22 or $25 for a chicken parmesan, it's typically a big, giant cutlet. And that's the way I really like it, frankly. This place we go to in Little Italy, it's called La Mela. And when you order a chicken parmesan, it is the size of the plate. It's just this giant, giant cutlet. And that's the way I like it. I think it makes it look a lot nicer. It makes it look much more substantial. So now, once you fillet the cutlet and you opened it up, I'll take some of this fat off the edge here. I don't like to use a hammer when I tenderize the chicken cutlets. I just use the back of the knife because I don't want to make them too thin. A good chicken parmesan is going to be about a ½ inch thick, and it's going to be tender where you can just get the fork right through it. So I turn the chicken cutlet over and I hit it with the back of the knife without tearing up the outer skin there. That's it. That's all you got to do. A little bit more in the middle, so it's nice and even. And that's a nice sized cutlet. That's going to be tender and beautiful. I'm going to do the same thing with the other ones. So now it is time to bread our chicken cutlets. I have our chicken is spiced with a little bit of salt and pepper. Actually, I did the salt. I didn't do the pepper. Our flour also has a little salt and pepper. Our egg mix as well. And we have Italian flavored breadcrumbs in the pantry, and I didn't do anything with those at all. So the first step is to take a chicken cutlet, dip it into the flour mix, and then we're going to go into the egg mix, and then we're going to go into the breadcrumbs. Very nice. Then onto the plate, and then we'll do the other two. We used to have to do this with so many pounds of chicken cutlets in the restaurant. To do it for a few people really doesn't take much time at all. And it's actually very therapeutic. I love breading chicken cutlets. And then finally, the third one. And I know there's 4 of us, but they are really, really large. Johnny doesn't eat these at all. I always try to get him to try it, but most likely he won't. So 3 is plenty. All right, now we're all ready to fry these babies up. So now it's time to fry up our chicken cutlets, and so we're going to use olive oil. Actually, I got one open, I think. I know I have another olive oil open, Mr. John. Oh, there it is. All right, so we're going to take our olive oil, put it in the pan. That is plenty. And we're also, to make the olive oil taste delicious, we're going to take 2 pieces of garlic, if you can see that. And then you take the back of the knife, come a little bit closer, John. Take the back of the knife, just give it a little smash, just to open it up a little bit. And that goes in the oil. And now we're just going to wait for this to get hot. And that's what we're going to use to fry up our chicken cutlets. It's going to taste delicious. All right, so now we're going to put our chicken cutlets in. And this is really where the meal is made or lost. because you really don't get a second chance here. The chicken has to cook through right now because it's not going to bake in the oven. We're really just going to put it under the broiler when it's time to put the mozzarella on the chicken. So the oil's got to be the right temperature. I'm being a little dangerous there, putting my fingers in there. But this looks like we're in really, really good shape. The oil's got to be good and hot. And that looks like we're in fine position for this to be delicious.
Yeah.
All right, so there is the color it should be. Nice golden brown. I just flipped them over, so we needed about another minute or so. Turn it down just a little bit. See,
I've never been good at this.
what, frying in the pan?
Frying up chicken cutlets.
Take these babies out. And this is going to be, let me tell you, this is going to be special. You know what that is?
Garlic.
That was in the pan with the chicken.
Oh my God, it's going to be so good.
Oh my God. That's just happiness.
That's heaven.
So getting the oil right can be a challenge, right? Because if the oil is too hot, the outside of the chicken will burn and it won't cook all the way through.
Oh.
And so it's not the end of the world. You have to take it out of the oil before the chicken gets any darker than this. This is really how you want it, a nice golden brown. This one's a little bit dark there, but still, that's going to be delicious.
I like it crispy.
And this is going to be crisp and beautiful. But if the oil is too hot, that would mean the inside wouldn't be cooked. So what we're going to do right now is cheat a little bit. And you don't want to make it obvious. I'm not going to just cut it in half and take a look at it. What I'm going to do is kind of do like a little incision here. Because sauce and cheese is going to go over this anyway. I'm going to bend it back a little bit. Take a look inside. It looks beautiful. It's white. That's cooked through. That's great.
It's beautiful.
Close it right back up and you're in good shape. But what if I opened it up and it looked like the chicken was raw? Now what are you going to do? Well, very simply, put it in the oven without telling anyone. Don't say anything to anyone. Turn the oven on to 400 degrees. Maybe you had it on already because you're cooking something else. Who knows? Put it in a piece of tin foil, drop it right on there, and drop it right in the oven for a few minutes. And then you could save the chicken cutlet. Now, in the past, we've put the chicken cutlets on dishes with a piece of paper towel in order to drain some of the grease, but I decided to use a cooling rack. Just put a dish underneath it because it's important that they're dry, that there's no excess oil on them because you want it to be crisp. If it's still filled with oil, it's going to be a little bit soggy and it's going to take away from a little bit of the crispness. All right, it's time to melt the cheese on our chicken parmesan. And so what I've done is I put some sauce on the bottom of a baking pan. I'm going to place our chicken cutlets on top. And one of the things I'm going to do this makes my chicken parmesan a little bit different. I like to put a slice of prosciutto on the top. Spread it out. This is very, very tender prosciutto, so it's going to rip right apart. So we spread it across the top of the chicken parmesan. And John's not sure how he feels about it, so we're going to just leave one without prosciutto. That is going to be beautiful. I'm going to put it lightly across the top of the chicken cutlets. I don't like it smothered. You don't want it swimming. Now this is according to taste too. I like a heavy layer of mozzarella. Some people don't like that on this dish. I do. And so we go very, very generous with it. All right, so I have the oven on broil. We're just gonna put that in there and melt that mozzarella. Chicken cutlets are ready. They look beautiful. Oh, that looks beautiful. My goodness. All right, nice job.
Amazing.
It's really good.
It's not bad being quarantined with you.
No, not on days like this where first of all, I was cutting onions at about 8:30 this morning. I've been thinking I was thinking about this when I went to sleep last night. And now it's here. It's kind of like, it feels like Christmas. It feels like Christmas morning.
There you go.
Blessed.